Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Early Edge. A very happy Friday. This show, of course, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. I always love to see the chat buzzing before we even get started. A big hello to Brad, KC3, Christian Hastings, Stonefish, Joseph Akers, Eric David, so many more in here. Steve Lochner, Farzad. Thank you for being in here. Hit the like button if you could. We've got a lot more to get from you as this show moves forward, but let's turn back the clock to yesterday, see how we did. And here it is, another winning day. I don't think we've had a losing day all week. 20-11 on the week, last count. So we'll take that every single time. I go 2 for 2 on my golf picks. Mikey B has a ton of success. 5-3 is the Thursday record. But ladies and gentlemen, we are not resting on the laurels of 20-11. We roll into Friday 0-0, and we roll into Friday BPE style.
Woo! Let's go!
Let's go. What is going on here? Well, we've got buckets. We got Chip Patterson. And what's going on with our third?
Loud noises! Yeah! Did I do that right? This is my first one. Have I done this right?
Yes, that's perfect. That's exactly how it goes.
Okay.
Mikey B in the house. We got buckets with what looks like a bucket hat. But let's start with your espresso, with your chip me up.
Good morning, see you. Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Early Edge fam. This is the first time that I've been able to greet you in here the best month of the year because we got conference tournament basketball. We got March Madness, NCAA tournament basketball all coming up. And that's because we respect the pick scrape. What was that? We respect the pick scrape. Wait. No. I'm going to need that a little bit more. We respect the pick scrape. Hold on. Nothing with me. All right.
We can play that because that's CBS as far as I recall. That is good stuff, Chip Patterson. Buckets.
Wow.
Is that a bucket hat? And your reaction to Chip?
It is a bucket hat that does not fit, Sia. This is a fun little bucket, John. Fact, I have to special order my hats because my head is too big to fit normal sizing that they sell at stores. So this one doesn't quite get the job done, but that's okay because it's Big Pick Energy Friday, right? We can do whatever we want, Sia.
It is Big Pick Energy Friday. We do whatever we want, including Mikey B. It's your first time here on BPE Friday, and I thought you knocked it out of the park. I don't know if you even knew the rules, but you had those shades on. It sounded good to me.
Thank you. Yeah, I did my research. We all are important to do our research here, but I'm tired already, Chip. That energy level, I'm gassed.
Hey, you don't got to lose an hour of sleep? I got to pack you up for the weekend. Let's go.
Man.
Is that this weekend?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We're losing an hour of sleep this weekend. All right, that's good to know. If you need the energy, just roll back to BPE Friday and listen to Chip. Watch Chip. Mikey B was blown away, says Mr. Big. Buckets wearing children's clothing today. Yes, indeed. At least that's what it looks like. Buckets is a big boy. All right, how about a big pick, Buckets? Let's get things started. We got college basketball today. We got NBA. I've got a golf pick. We got SportsLine picks, some small conference stuff. But let's start out with some soccer, Buckets.
See, I am nothing but honest with all of you, so I'm honest when I say this. The soccer matches we have available to bet on today are absolutely terrible. I love to try to bring 3 picks on Friday. I always want to bring the energy, bring all the action. I couldn't do it. I'm looking at Serie A. We got Cagliari versus Genoa. That's probably ending 0-0. We've got Gladbach playing Mainz in the Bundesliga. That's probably ending 1-0 Mainz. And the last time I bet an under, there were 8 goals. And I bet under 2.5. So I'm not going to give you unders anymore. I've learned my lesson. So I had to go through all the matches to find just a single bet. But I promise all of you, this is my favorite bet by far today. And it is not even close. We are going to the Polish Ekstraklasa, the top flight, the top division of Polish soccer in a matchup. See, you're going to have fun with this one between Slask Wrocław taking on Pogoń Szczecin. And we're taking Pogoń, draw no bet at -125. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I think this line is just wrong. It's frankly wrong. We are getting a weird matchup here because right now Slask Vokla is the worst team in the entire Extract Klasa. They have only won one of their last 7 matches. They are one of the 2 teams averaging less than 1 goal scored per game. They have one of the worst defenses in all of Poland. They're just terrible. And Pogoń is fighting for a top 3 spot. They are coming off a loss to the best team in Poland, but it's a match in which they had a red card. This line makes absolutely no sense. And frankly, I would take their money line at plus 150. But the fact that we can get this draw no bet line at playable odds at minus 125 for the better team with the better offense, with the better defense, with the better hair on their players, Sia, it's ridiculous. And at minus 125, it is my must bet of the day.
So you're telling me if I support, let's see, Pogoń draw no bet, I'm supporting the team with better hair?
You are, which Sia, I think speaks to you personally.
Yeah,
so
let's go. That's in. That's actually a lock. Chip Patterson, we got a lot of comments from BPE Friday. The one I love the most, and I've only had a chance to read a few of these so far. Joseph Akers says, I'm going to the basement and doing karate after that chip me up. It's like if you're old enough, Buckets, which you might not be, if you're old enough to have watched the Rocky movies, you know that feeling you get after a Rocky movie where you just want to like go out and shadow box or actually like fight somebody. I think that's what people feel like, Chip, after you give out your chip me up every Friday.
I hope it gives them the Rocky IV running through the snow training montage. Look, Rocky IV has a lot, but the music of Rocky IV is terrific. And training montage where you've got Rocky in the snow while Ivan Drago's getting juiced up back and forth. I mean, just terrific cinema.
Mikey B, I trust you've seen Rocky IV, but Buckets, I've probably asked you this because Rocky IV has come up on this show a lot. Have you actually seen the movie Rocky IV?
Yes, and you can't tell right now because I'm wearing baby clothes apparently, but people sometimes tell me I look like Khal Drogo from the Rocky series as well there, so just throwing that out there.
Did you say Khal Drogo?
Oh, did I say the name wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, if he dies, guy's name?
Ivan Drago.
Ivan Drago. But Apollo Creed's real name is Carl Weathers, R.I.P. Carl Weathers, who passed away some time ago. So you actually got the appropriate names mixed up, and there's been on the ones and twos. Ivan Drago, for that time, he was like that guy, like that physique. I mean, look at this. This guy's amazing.
If you give me 60 extra pounds of muscle, then I look like Ivan Drago, but we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. All right. All right. You might have noticed Ivan Drago in full sweat mode. Speaking of full sweat mode, this is something that's very exciting. And it's part of the reason that if for some reason you're not watching this show or listening to this podcast, it's part of the reason we always tell you to turn your notifications on, because conference tournaments are upcoming. We're sweating conference tournament games live next Thursday and Friday. Watch live on the SportsLine YouTube page as Mackenzie Brooks, Chip Patterson, and a ton of other surprise guests sweat out their conference tournament bets on stream and talk about your live bets in the chat. It all starts Thursday next week at 3:30 Eastern time, only on the SportsLine YouTube page. Chip, before we get to your pick, I can tell you right now, nice headband. Got to watch this on YouTube. Hit the like button. Oh my God, he's got armbands too. Chip, talk to me about this live sweat. This sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean, the amount of action that everyone has during conference tournament weeks really just sends you on a roller coaster. And Mackenzie brought up the idea. It's like, what we should do is we should enjoy this with everyone. So we are going to be live on YouTube. We're going to be talking to everybody, hanging out. Early Edge fam, come and join us. We are just going to have like all of our bets on a board. It's going to be a ball.
Yeah. By the way, this graphic is amazing as well. Anytime Mackenzie and Chip are teamed up, like it's something you're going to want to dial in on. But with this conference tournament sweat underlying this entire show, March 13th and 14th, featuring a ton of special guests, you'll see some familiar faces. Really looking forward to that. But Chip, people are looking forward to a college basketball pick. What you got?
We're going to be looking into the Big Ten tonight, regular season finale for both Purdue and Illinois. And what we've got is a continuation of the same theme that I had a winner with last Friday, which is Purdue overs. This Boilermakers team has been absolutely picked to shreds with their interior defense. It's like, I guess Zach Edey was really doing something standing near the rim all those years for Matt Painter. And Illinois is finally healthy. I mean, they had the virus. They had the itis. They had it coming out both ways, TMI. But now they are healthy, and all of that NBA talent has been scoring at an extremely high clip. You want to look at a little bit of recency bias. How about the fact that Purdue overs 8-3 in their last 11, Illinois overs 8-4 in their last 12? That is since January 22nd. These two teams are combined 16-5 to the over. I know 159 is a big number, but I just see this one being a lot of running, a lot of pace, a lot of buckets. Shout out to you, Buckets, and a score that's decided somewhere in the 80s.
All right. Shout out to Buckets and his childlike looking bucket hat, which is probably fit for an adult. I'll concede, Buckets, I have like a smaller head. So when I put a hat on, I don't wear hats often. Like they're like super small size. So you and I, if I wore that, it would look too big for me is my guess.
We'll see. I just want to let you know that I took my hat off in the middle of that take to show respect for Chip. It just doesn't feel right. When he's talking, I feel like you got to do something to honor the plays he's giving. So that's why I took the hat off.
I am not America. I am
he says while wearing the red, white, and blue headband and wristbands.
Okay.
You are very much America right now. All right, let's take a look at some SportsLine picks before we move along to some more NBA, some golf. Okay, Portland -1.5. That one is from Larry Hartstein. That is in college basketball. Portland -1.5, -115. And then Jason LaConfora, Hofstra -7.5. So we got two college basketball picks courtesy of SportsLine. And by the way, you'll get way more SportsLine picks if you go to sportsline.com/join, type in the promo code winners. You get 60% off the annual plan. But those are the two SportsLine picks for this show. And ladies and gentlemen, speaking of SportsLine, if for some reason you're not already a subscriber, or if you haven't joined BetMGM yet, we've got that promo still going. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, again, sign up now and you will get up to $1,500 in a first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM, plus a 1-year free subscription to SportsLine with bonus code SportsLine1500. Get exclusive members-only picks for all major sports from proven models and 40-plus Vegas experts, plus predictive tools for pick'em, brackets, player stats, and more. Get this offer in 4 easy steps. Download the BetMGM Sports app and register an account using bonus code SportsLine1500. Make your first deposit at least $10. Place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. Claim your free 1-year subscription to SportsLine in your BetMGM inbox. That is a great deal. And I got to give you a great deal with another winning golf pick. Mikey B, we can't keep you silent. You got some NBA picks. We're going to do it all right after this message from our partners.
Who's in? Who's out? Let the madness begin. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Selection Show on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
All right, we're back on the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Before I give out my golf pick, Mikey B, there's a lot of NBA questions in the chat. I'm just going to pull a couple out here. Jacob says, Mike, how do you feel about Chet Holmgren, 9.5 rebounds and assists tonight?
Yeah, I would lean towards the over. He's probably still playing limited minutes, but the Thunder are sitting so many of their starters. SGA, Hartenstein, they're all out. So I would lean over there.
How about Zubac under 11.5 rebounds at plus money?
Yeah, tough matchup against Karl Anthony Towns. It is the second game of back-to-back set for the Knicks, so they might be a little tired there. I'd probably avoid that. I would just avoid it. Okay.
And we're going to get to Mikey B. We're going to get to two of your props, a couple of overs, which I know everybody enjoys. We're going to get to those in just a second. I'm going to run back one of my two yesterday. So yesterday I had Nick Taylor over Sam Stevens. I didn't run that one back. It started a few hours ago. And actually Nick Taylor is trailing Sam Stevens by a few strokes about halfway through their round. But yesterday, the other one I hit was Jacob Bridgman over Brian Campbell. And that one ended up being pretty easy. It was tight until maybe 5-6 holes left. And then Brian Campbell started the bogey train. The thing about Brian Campbell on this course, well, two things. One, I like Jacob Bridgman last week. I like him this week because of the mid to long iron play. Brian Campbell doesn't have that in his bag. The one thing he has over Jacob Bridgman probably is the short game and the accuracy off the tee. But he's so short off the tee that he's got to have like crazy long iron game to catch up to Jacob Bridgman. So while Jacob Bridgman may be a touch more shaky off the tee, his mid to long iron game is so much better, and that's going to be key in this matchup. So I expect this to be maybe a back and forth early, but I expect Jacob Bridgman to run away with this one. The best number you can get on this, don't forget, when I gave this out yesterday, or 2 days ago actually, it was Jacob Bridgman -115. Now the books have graduated this to -140, -130, but BetMGM has the -130. So that's what I would take. Jacob Bridgman in a round 2 head-to-head, -130. If you have trouble finding that pick, you shouldn't, because it's at all the books, because these guys are going out in twos. If you can't find it under like 18-hole matchups, go under 2 balls. See, these things are separated sometimes. Go under 2 balls, and you will find it. Jacob Bridgman over Brian Campbell. All right, we go to basketball. We go to the association. Mikey B, 2 picks. What you got?
All right, first up, we're going to do De'Aaron Fox over 22.5 points at -110. That's his return to Sacramento. He's been pretty quiet lately. He's only averaged 15 points over the last 6 games. The problem is he shot just over 35% from the field during that span. That's very abnormal for him. He's shooting 46.3% for the season. Prior to that cold stretch, he had scored at least 23 points in 4 straight games. Now, we mentioned this is his first game back in Sacramento since the trade to the Spurs. Home games this season when he was a member of the Kings, he averaged 26.6 points per game. So I think he breaks out of his shooting slump here in familiar confines and goes over 22.5 points. And then you might not all know this name, Toumani Camara of the Portland Trailblazers, over 11.5 points at -108. He has averaged 36 minutes over the last 20 games for the Trailblazers. During that span, he averaged 13.2 points and shot 53.8% from the field. Mentioned the Thunder are resting a lot of their key guys, so Kamara's going to get a lot of minutes against backups. And what you also like about the Thunder, they've played at the 6th fastest pace in the league. He has played them 3 times this season. He scored at least 13 points in all 3 of those games. So we're going to finish up with Toumani Camara of the Portland Trailblazers over 11.5 points.
All right, a couple questions and comments. Mikey, I don't know if you have anything on this, but Ramo was asking about Josh Hart under a double-double. Any thoughts there?
That's probably a good bet. I'm sure there's probably quite a bit of juice on that, though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay the juice because I'm sure there's probably a lot on it.
Yeah, I will say this. Anytime you guys recommend a pick, whether it's NBA or golf or anything else, putting what the actual betting number is the price is going to be really important to the analysis there. So don't forget that. You may as well not ask the question if you don't have the price on there as well. Brian M says, Mike, I think I need the Pampers Parlay today. I have a 6-month-old, and he's gone through 2 diapers since 9:30. Wow, okay. That's, speaking of TMI, looks like it's going to be one of those days. Do we have I'll tell you what.
I've got one.
You got one already?
Yes,
Oh,
of course.
Okay, wow.
Listen, it was Big Pick Energy Friday, so I had to come prepared. We hit the last Pampers Parlay in the Discord.
Pampered? Is that what you said? You had to come pampered?
Pampered. Oh, yeah. Look at
Very
this.
good.
Kid. You are on top of things today. This is unbelievable.
Come on, it's nothing.
All right, so I have one. DeMar DeRozan to score at least 20 points. De'Aaron Fox to score at least 20 points. And Kamara to score at least 10 points. Now, if you put that all together, it's plus 142, but there is odds boosts out there. So I was able to get that at, I believe it was like plus 182. So again, DeRozan 20 points, no Sabonis, no Malik Monk, Fox 20 points at home, his old stomping grounds in Sacramento. And Kamara, we only need 10. He's averaging 13 over his last 20 games. So there you go. Get that diaper money. Stop feeding them so much of the bananas. Give them some fiber.
Wow. Okay. This is where we're at on BPE Friday. Buckets, I want to get to you in a second because I want to see if there's any soccer questions for you. But Chip, this is a reference that I probably should know, but I don't. Chris Kish says, OMG, it finally hit me. Chip is Richie Tenenbaum?
Yeah,
I don't know who that is.
Well, RIP Gene Hackman. I was thinking about him, the Royal Tenenbaums, the Wes Anderson movie. And there's more to this outfit. I don't want to spoil it, but if you think I've got like small Richie Tenenbaum vibes now, you watch that show on Thursday with me and Kens. There's more to the outfit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There might be a tracksuit.
Wow.
There might be a tracksuit that goes with the headbands and it's big. It gives very big Richie Tenenbaum vibes. For sure.
Okay. Lonnie Perkins says Harrison Barnes over 10.5 points. Oh, he's asking. Harrison Barnes over 10.5 points at -106. This will be the last one for you, Mikey. Any thoughts on Barnes over 10.5 points?
I don't mind it. I'd probably avoid it just because the Spurs are healthy. They do have, other than obviously Victor Wembanyama being out, Stephon Castle. They're all healthy. So I don't mind. I mean, it's -106, so I don't mind it if you want to play it.
All right. SportsLine account says Fiber Parlay coming up soon. Buckets, any soccer questions for you to address?
Yes, I did mention that I leaned the under in Mönchengladbach versus FCS Mainz in the Bundesliga. Under 2.5 goals is plus 105. But let me remind everyone, the scores of the last 3 times I bet the unders. PSV versus Arsenal, I bet under 2.5. It ended 7-1. Lyon versus Montauban, I bet under 2.5. It ended 9-2. Man City versus Luton Town last year, I bet under 2.5. It ended 6-2. So the fact that I lean the under in this game means the over is probably going to hit by 5, 6, 7, 8 goals. Something you might want to consider.
All right. Let's see. We've got other picks in here. I want to give Scott Davis a shout out, who has been in here recently with some picks, I think mostly NHL related. He says Avalanche coming to the NHL playoffs plus 410 to win the Western Conference. That number seems short, but I haven't really been tracking Colorado, so I'm going to take Scott's word for it there. We have Vincent Calabrese saying Minwoo Lee over Tom Kim at plus 105. I don't really have a strong opinion on that one. I would lean at Minwoo at plus 105, but Minwoo's the type of guy on this course that can find so much trouble so fast that it's just not the type of guy I want here. Maybe on a wide open track, I'd probably prefer him over Tom Kim. Tom Kim probably going to win the accuracy game. It's probably a stay away for me, but I see where you're going with that at least. Chip Patterson, any golf? I saw you chuckling at something, but either that or any golf comments before we get to the recap screen. Have you been tracking the API?
2 things. Number one is actually back to Bucket's Cagliari Genoa matchup in Serie A later today. That total is moved to 1.5. If you've ever seen a soccer total,
that's so depressing, man.
Wow.
You want to put? See now I'm chuckling because now I want in.
Yeah.
That'll put some real hair on your chest, sweating an under 1.5 in a soccer match. It's like either that or just go correct score 0-0 and just root for 0 goals.
It's the kind of game. It's the kind of game where you go over 1.5 and then it's an own goal and like a fluke PK that gets you there. Like it's not going to be good goals in this game.
No.
But the over might still hit for sure.
Yeah. And then the other thing I saw earlier in the chat, somebody was mentioning that they were like, oh, I'm going to ride this because I'm tired of sweating these unders. I will tell you, over season is about to come to a conclusion because we're going to get to these neutral courts. We're going to get to the situations where teams are going to be playing literally for their seasons, like do or die type scenario. Things are going to get very tight and very nervy. But here on Friday, here on Saturday, this is the last time we're going to have home court environments, hot gyms, a lot of energy. It's just going to be more natural for teams that play fast to lean into playing fast. So like, you don't hear me dropping these overs necessarily in Arch Madness, the Missouri Valley Conference tournament playing in St. Louis right now, because we're starting to get to that neutral court. Only one team's going to emerge. Things might get just a little bit tighter. That said, over did hit yesterday in Indiana State, Southern Illinois, but that's okay because we were on the Sycamores. Anyway, this is the last time to bet overs in college basketball. We'll be very much like under leaning once we get into conference tournaments.
All right. Love to see that. Don't forget next Thursday and
there
Friday.
You go, Colin.
Yeah, Colin 0-0 tie plus 630. Wow, that's a great number. I want to bet 0-0, says Gipper's Picks, who was on the UFC show earlier this week. Don't forget, we did an MLB show as well. We've got 2 MLB shows in the bank, and they're really, really informative. It's with Amags, Mike McClure, and, of course, Matt Snyder. Buckets, go ahead.
I want to say one more thing. If you ever think that a match will end 0-0, 0-0 like that, another way you can do it is if you bet no goal scorer, that's plus 600. And if there's an own goal, that doesn't count as a goal scorer. So if the game's 2-0 and they're both own goals, technically no goal score at plus 600 still hits. A little better value than taking just the no correct score, in my opinion. Very weird. It's just a very weird kind of extra thing in soccer.
Gippers, it's Cagliari and Genoa.
Oh, okay. He's asking which teams are we talking about. Okay. By the way, Kathy seems to have jumped in the show late. Yes, my pick. You're going to see it in the recap screen in just 1 second. I'm running back Jacob Bridgman. That one starts, by the way, in 25 minutes. I'm glad she reminded me. I think this is pronounced Kathy, but yeah, this one starts at 10:50. So if you want to get that Jacob Bridgman bet in minus 130, that's the best number I found at BetMGM minus 130. You've got about 20 minutes to put it in there. All right. I guess we can take a look at the recap screen before we get out of here. Got a couple SportsLine picks, but the picks from the gentleman on the show. Well, I start Jacob Bridgman minus 130 over Brian Campbell, Mikey B, De'Aaron Fox over 22.5 points, and Kamara over 11.5 points. That's minus 110, minus 108. Don't forget about the Pampers Parlay. If you missed it and you're listening to the video and you just fast forwarded to the recap screen, we'll go back because there's a lot of live commentary too. We have a Pampers Parlay, which was in the latter 2/3 of the show. Purdue, Illinois tonight over 159.5. That is courtesy of Chip Patterson, and it is minus 105. And then, oh man, Buckets, I'm actually going to try this.
Yes.
Slask Wroclaw versus Pogon Sestin. Pogon draw no bet minus 125. I have no idea how I did there. Let's take a look at the SportsLine picks. 2 college basketball picks, one from Larry Hartstein, the Maestro, Portland minus 1.5 at minus 115. And JLC, Jason Lock-on 4 has Hofstra minus 7.5 at minus 110. What a great show. Chip Patterson, Mikey B on BPE Friday, buckets and his buckets hat. The Rocky IV references, the energy, it came from us. It came from you. We really, really appreciate it. Have a great, great Friday, everyone. Have a great weekend. Stay positive, and let's get another winning day. What would it be? 5, 6, 7 in a row? I'm not sure. I might have just jinxed it. Either way, on behalf of Buckets, on behalf of Chip Patterson, Mikey B, Ben's on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s, and all of you in the chat, really appreciate you being here. We'll see you next time on The Early Edge. We rest our case.